bullseye.
What's up guys, it's me Rocks and welcome back to another episode of WWE2k16 Your Universe Mode. This is episode number 4 and we've got of course the first week of Monday Night Raw. While a lot of questions have still been unanswered for SmackDown with the controversy about Kevin Owens, we are looking for some answers from Raw, of course, heading towards their first pay-per-view being WWE Fastlane in 3 weeks time. So we need to crown a lot of new number one contenders. Of course, we've got one number one contender for each title, and we are looking to crown 2 new number one contenders for the women's title, one, and the other one is the US title in tonight's episode of Raw. The main event being Chris Hero versus PJ Black versus King Cuerno versus Ricochet. Of course, the 4 new guys, the 4 international star signings for Monday Night Raw on the draft. But the opener is going to be Chris Jericho versus Finn Balor. Finn Balor starts off the action with a nice vertical suplex, shades of his Bloody Sunday, but Chris Jericho, wanting to one-up the number 1 draft pick for Monday Night Raw, delivers the same exact move to Finn Balor. Finn Balor, of course, the first NXT roster pick for Monday Night Raw, the second overall after Shinsuke Nakamura delivers a nice missile dropkick off the top rope there to Chris Jericho, but gets caught in the walls of Jericho just moments later. Chris Jericho made a lot of people tap over the years with that submission hold, but Finn Balor will be able to withstand that move. He is in the middle of the ring, but Chris Jericho will make use of that hold after he notices that Finn Balor is not willing to tap just yet, and he needs to deliver way more damage to Finn Balor to make him submit. Finn Balor then on the offense, delivering some damage to Chris Jericho with 2 dropkicks. Of course, first his signature dropkick into the corner, followed up by another one onto the sitting Chris Jericho, then goes for the pin for the 1, 2, 3 kick out at 2 from Chris Jericho, just very closely able to kick out of that dropkick. Of course, the damage has been delivered, but Chris Jericho pulling apart the announce table, getting rid of the monitors and the protection, of course the Monday Night Raw sign, then setting up Finn Balor onto the announce table, right onto JBL's head there, another fist to the face. Chris Jericho going back inside the ring, going to the top row. What's he up to? Shades of Shane McMahon possibly, with a big elbow drop through the announce table. Finn Balor surely done. Chris Jericho just barely able to get up, gets Finn Balor straight up again and continues with the offense. A chop and a jab to the face of Finn Balor, who tries to get on the offense again, but countered into an inverted DDT from Chris Jericho there. Again, continuing with the offense, getting Finn Balor up to his feet straight away again. A nice kick to the guts, and then setting up for another vertical suplex, possibly another shades of Bloody Sunday there on the outside. Of course, the ref still counting, still on the count out, as he is at number 7, I want to say right now. He counts to 8. Finn Balor still on the ground, looking like he could get counted out any second now. Refs at 9, Chris Jericho, of course, back in the ring. Of course, Finn Balor back up to his feet, but refs at 10. Chris Jericho backs himself a win over Finn Balor. A counted victory, but a victory nonetheless. Of course, not quite as impressive as maybe a pin or submission would have been, but Chris Jericho puts himself into a nice position with a win over the number 3 draft pick for Monday Night Raw, being Finn Balor. The second match of the night will be a tag team contest between the Club, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, facing the Usos. Of course, Enzo and Cass still looking for another set of number 1 contenders. Maybe we will see some contenders there in this match, but this is not officially for the number 1 contendership for the tag team titles just yet. Jey Uso starts in the ring with Machine Gun Carl Anderson, who delivers a nice spine buster to Jey Uso there. Of course, Luke Gallows and Jimmy Uso in that instance on the outside, as it is standard tag team rules. Now it is Jimmy Uso who delivers a Samoan drop to Luke Gallows. Of course, the Usos, members of the famous Anoa'i Samoan family, so the Samoan drop, of course, in the repertoire. Again, Luke Gallows delivering some damage now with a power bomb. He is looking to deliver the sit-out power bomb, gets through, delivering quite the damage to the Usos there. Machine Gun Carl Anderson back into the ring with a nice package pile driver-ish neck breaker there. Very brutal move, and shows what moves he has learned in Japan, of course. Now Jimmy Uso with a nice Rikishi driver, shades of their uncle, of their father indeed, Rikishi, and a nice super kick there. Going for the pin possibly. Carl Anderson down, ref goes down for the 1, 2, but kicks out at 2. Luke Gallows very confident that Carl Anderson can kick out there, as he wasn't even trying to break up that pin, as Luke Gallows is the recipient of another Samoan drop, and right there, another Samoan drop to Luke Gallows, the third one in this match already. The Usos introducing Luke Gallows to Samoan drop city, some would say. Shades, of course, of Brock Lesnar there. Nice fist now by Jimmy Uso to Carl Anderson. Looks to set him up for the superplex, possibly outside the ring. And he throws him, indeed, outside the ring onto the ground with the superplex. And same move after, of course, that elbow drop from Chris Jericho earlier on in the opening contest. Now another very, very vicious move there. And a nice stink face there by Jey Uso to Carl Anderson. Luke Gallows with another sit-out powerbomb, possibly. No, he gets it into a face buster. A lot of damage, of course, has been done to Luke Gallows, so maybe not the smartest option for him to stay in the ring for too long, as he has received a super kick and quite some Samoan drops and pin there from Carl Anderson after that diamond cutter. But Jey Uso grabs the bottom rope, forcing a rope break there. I think it's even Jimmy Uso who got busted open wide there. Carl Anderson is this time the recipient of the Samoan drop, the fourth in this match by Jimmy Uso, who gets Carl Anderson up straight away again, puts him into the corner towards his brother Jey Uso. Are they maybe looking for some tag team action? They are indeed. He goes for the tag, puts Carl Anderson onto the ground with a power slam. Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso up on the top rope with the Uso splash. Can he get the pin and win possibly for the Usos there over the club? Would be a big win. Luke Gallows trying to get into the ring, but moving very, very slowly, as he is, of course, exhausted from the match and cannot break that pin up in time. That is the win for the Usos over the club. Very impressive win by the two brothers there, by the twins, of course, and they're looking good in maybe their quest to go towards the tag team titles, where they would have to face Enzo and Cass at Fastlane, but they're not in that match yet. Maybe they can secure themselves a spot next week if the GM wants to do so. The third contest of the night will be a triple threat match, and therefore also our first of the two number one contender matches. This one, of course, for the women's title, as it is Nikki Bella versus Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte, of course, as you all will have known by now, the daughter of Ric Flair. And we started off outside the ring, as it is, of course, no countouts, no disqualification in a triple threat match, and Alexa Bliss, recipient of a double Russian leg sweep there, gets put into the announce table. Nikki Bella then throws Charlotte into the steel steps, picks Alexa Bliss back up and throws her into the announce table once again, of course delivering quite the damage to Alexa Bliss there. Picks her straight back up again though, trying to deliver more damage by throwing her into the steel steps now. Again picking her up, but Charlotte is the one to then put some damage onto Nikki Bella before she puts another snap DDT onto Alexa Bliss. Charlotte now back in the ring, a spear to Nikki Bella, grounds Nikki Bella there. Of course, maybe a favorite in this match together with Charlotte. Alexa Bliss by the majority, maybe considered a bit of an underdog in this matchup, but it is a triple threat match. Anything can happen. She doesn't need to even put damage onto anybody. She just needs to be in the right spot at the right time, picking up the pin if she wants to win that match. In this case though, she was at the wrong spot at the wrong time, being the recipient of a rack attack by Nikki Bella. Charlotte trying to sneak that pin, but of course Nikki Bella able to pick up the break up for that pin after Alexa Bliss gets put into another gutbuster, a military press into a gutbuster by Charlotte, and another spear to Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss pretty much the recipient of all the damage in this match. Now onto the top rope she goes though. Charlotte tries to stop her a bit too late with her nice corkscrew moonsault there onto Nikki Bella, not able to pick up the win after that though. But now a very nice sequence for Alexa Bliss. That nice low drop kick to Charlotte picks up Nikki Bella to try and put some more damage onto Nikki Bella. Of course, her sister Brie Bella retired by now, but Nikki Bella is far from done yet, has not held the Raw Women's title yet, and is looking to do so, as Alexa Bliss now puts Charlotte into the snap suplex, a snap vertical suplex, tries to go onto the top rope, sees her chance. Nikki Bella still down after that snap DDT. Charlotte tried to roll away, but not quite far enough as it looks. Alexa Bliss maybe looking for a corkscrew moonsault again, is waiting for the right time to hit it. Nikki Bella, Charlotte both down, hits the moonsault, maybe goes for the pin on Charlotte as Nikki Bella still down. She's exhausted, but gets over for the pin. Ref counts for the 1, 2, 3, and Alexa Bliss wins. She is the number one contender, of course, together with Bayley for the women's title, and will face Bayley maybe even more divas, but it's definitely going to be Bayley versus Alexa Bliss so far at Fastlane. And Alexa Bliss, of course, delighted to be possibly the first Raw Women's Champion if she could win against Bayley so far at Fastlane. We will see that in 3 weeks' time as we move on to our next contest of the night. The co-main event of the night of this very first episode of Monday Night Raw will be John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler. John Cena, of course, has proven time and time again that he can win against any opponent, while Dolph Ziggler is a very underrated performer, but also respected by a lot of the locker room and the fans. The first offense in this match is delivered by Dolph Ziggler via that nice jumping DDT. As John Cena tries to get back into the match, Dolph Ziggler has another counter ready with that nice Northern Lights suplex. John Cena now trying to go up the top rope out of his comfort zone with a nice double elbow drop. Dolph Ziggler moves out of his way though, countering into a quick Russian leg sweep. John Cena sets Dolph Ziggler up into the electric chair position, switches it into a facebuster. Very nice move there delivered by John Cena to Dolph Ziggler, who recuperates very quickly though into a super kick, drags John Cena into the middle of the ring to pretty much disable a rope break from John Cena. Ref goes down for the count, maybe for the 3 count. No, John Cena kicks out a 2, showing his incredible resilience. Just a few moments later though, John Cena back on his feet, throwing Dolph Ziggler into the ropes, into the catapult, and right up to his shoulders again, showing his incredible strength. Going for the attitude adjustment, pulls it through and goes straight for the pin. The ref goes down, counting for the 1, 2, 3, but a very close 2.5 kick out from Dolph Ziggler there. John Cena can't believe how Dolph Ziggler kicked out of that one, but wants to go straight back to his signature move. But Dolph Ziggler with a nice counter there, kicks him straight into that, setting up for the 5-knuckle shuffle. But the brawl continues. John Cena catches Dolph Ziggler into a nice snap vertical suplex there. But you can see how both men are exhausted. The match going on for quite some minutes now. Again, a counter from John Cena puts Dolph Ziggler into the snap DDT this time and tries to set him up for the attitude adjustment one last time. He taunts Dolph Ziggler up, but Dolph Ziggler just too exhausted. He can't get back up to his feet on his own. John Cena now picking him up, goes for the double shoulder blocks, dodges the clothesline and goes for the suplex, which sets up the 5-knuckle shuffle usually. This time though, John Cena straight on the offense, fists to the head straight away, no messing around, no 5-knuckle shuffle, all game. John Cena just wants to back this win right there, picks Dolph Ziggler back up, goes and for another attitude adjustment, hits that one again and goes for the straight cover again, hooking both legs, ref down for the 1, 2, 3, and John Cena wins that match against Dolph Ziggler, showing that he can be all game and that he is fully concentrated when he needs to be. No messing around with that 5-knuckle shuffle, straight for the fists, no showing off, going only for the win for the 1, 2, 3, and he bags himself another win against Dolph Ziggler in tonight's co-main event. And now, of course, we still have the main event of the evening. PJ Black versus Chris Hero versus King Cuerno versus Ricochet. The 4 new guys on the WWE Raw roster fighting for a #1 contendership for the US title, facing Apollo Crews at Fastlane. The ref checking if everybody's ready, ringing the bell, and we go straight into the action between the 4 international star signings for Monday Night Raw. Of course, we had 8 in total over the WWE roster, 4 for Raw, 4 for SmackDown. All 4 of the Raw ones are in action right now. We have seen a few of the international star signings in action for WWE SmackDown already as well, but not all of them. On Raw, we have every single one. In the main event, it is, of course, Chris Hero versus PJ Black versus Ricochet versus King Cuerno. 3 of them from Lucha Underground, more or less. 2 definitely PJ Black and King Cuerno. Ricochet, of course, it was signed with Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. Ricochet is his alter ego in the indie scenes, for example in New Japan. Chris Hero, more known from the other indie scenes such as ROH, most notably, is where he has made his name. And PJ Black and Chris Hero take it outside the ring, while King Cuerno and Ricochet fight it out inside the ring as PJ Black delivers a nice neckbreaker to Chris Hero there. Of course, PJ Black is the only one, well, not the only one nowadays, but the only one who has had a main roster stay for WWE, as Justin Gabriel, of course, part of the Nexus. He was also tag team champion with, I believe, Heath Slater. Chris Hero had a very, very brief spell at NXT as Ono, but of course, as I said, very, very briefly, so wasn't able to do much with it and was, I think, released rather quickly after he was signed by NXT straight away again, and pretty much got back into the indie scenes after that. PJ Black not had the best runs of all those stars in WWE, but is looking to redeem himself, had a very good run in Lucha Underground, showed what he can do, and maybe this time he will be treated better and get what he deserves in WWE. This match is his very first chance, and it is a number 1 contender match for the US title. So if he would win that Fatal 4-Way match, and then the match against Apollo Crews, maybe even more. We will see over the next 2 weeks if it will be a 1-on-1 between Apollo Crews and the winner of this match, or if it will be more contestants for the US title. But if he was to win that match as well, he would get the US title straight away and be also crowned the first ever United States champion of this universe, of course, as all those titles are vacant, and every championship will have a very first owner, of course. Coming up, we have an NXT show where we will crown the first NXT champion. And of course, Wednesday, next episode will be SmackDown Live as usual. And then the main event of next week's, or this week's NXT will be Tommaso Ciampa versus Andrade Cien Almas for the NXT title. One of those then, of course, being crowned the very first NXT champion and also the very first champion in this universe. As, of course, the Raw and SmackDown titles for each will be crowned at their pay-per-views. For SmackDown, it is Payback. Now 2 weeks time, so 2 SmackDown shows left, then we got Payback, and we have, after this Raw, 2 Raw shows left as well, until Fastlane, which is the first Raw pay-per-view. At those 2 pay-per-views, we will crown the Raw and SmackDown champions, and then of course NXT champions. I would guess over the weeks from NXT, we will see though what the channel manager is up to. Of course, NXT champion will be crowned, as I said, on Wednesday. The others we will see, while Ricochet delivers a beautiful Frankensteiner, reverse Frankensteiner to King Cuerno though. That could be it. If Ricochet goes for the cover, he doesn't. He goes up the top rope, and that is what Ricochet does best. He flies. He flies through the ring like nobody else. Oh my god, a corkscrew 450 there. Phoenix Splash goes maybe for the cover. No, he doesn't even bother. He shows a beautiful Frankensteiner and a Phoenix Splash, but doesn't even bother for the cover. That shows you how much Ricochet respects King Cuerno and knows that King Cuerno will not be done after that early on in the match. But as I said, first NXT pay-per-view will be during the Money in the Bank month, which is only in about 2.5 months time. So we will have to wait quite a long time if we would be to crown all the NXT champions at that pay-per-view. Of course, the NXT GM said we won't wait that long. That's why we got the NXT Championship match on Wednesday. But this time it is about the US title, at least the number 1 contendership. Chris Hero, PJ Black, King Cuerno, Ricochet, all looking to get their shot at the first WWE title. None of them other than PJ Black have held a title in the WWE. And PJ Black, of course, also only with his alter ego, while it is still PJ Black versus Chris Hero and Ricochet versus King Cuerno in this matchup. No switching up of opponents or teams in that match yet. Ricochet puts King Cuerno up on his shoulders into a nice kick right to the face of the Masked Man from Lucha Underground. Ricochet himself is a Masked Man in Lucha Underground, but not in WWE, of course. Not wearing his mask in the indie scenes, and he decided to go with his Ricochet alter ego in the WWE as well, and not with Prince Puma, who is of course very, very popular as well. King Cuerno now with a nice sit-out vertical suplex. Chris Hero battling PJ Black outside the ring, throwing him into the apron. King Cuerno with a pin on Ricochet with a 2.5 second kick out. Chris Hero tried to break up the pin, but didn't get into the ring quite in time to break up the pin. But surprisingly, the commentating table still intact. Of course, we had it broken down once in the opener of this episode, while Chris Jericho delivered that nice jumping elbow to Finn Balor through the commentating table in a disqualification match though. This one, no DQ, as it is a Fatal 4-Way match, and of course every Fatal 4-Way match is no disqualification by default, same for the triple threats. But no, so far, no weapons, no commentating tables, barely any chair shots, stair shots, I should say. So a very fair matchup between those 4 guys. Of course, all of them can wrestle and are brilliant technicians, so they don't need weapons to show what they can do. And a nice 450 splash there by Ricochet. Chris Hero should be there to break up the pin, though he does indeed, and Ricochet not able to pick up that pin. If Chris Hero and PJ Black would still be outside the ring in that case, I'm pretty sure Ricochet would have picked up the win in that case after that nice 450. Of course, one of his finishing moves, but not the only one. Ricochet has loads of moves in his locker. Loads of brilliant moves he delivers. And King Cuerno grounds him with that nice mic check there. Maybe going for the pin there. PJ Black looks like he wants to get himself a weapon there. He doesn't. Goes for Chris Hero again with a nice kick to the gut. King Cuerno pins Ricochet. Goes for the 2 count though. Ricochet able to kick out straight away again. We had a few close kickouts with 2 and 2.5 second kickouts, but no 3 counts of course as of yet. This is not an elimination match, I should add, so the first pinfall or submission will win the match, as it is the standard Fatal 4-Way rules. Chris Hero there wanting to taunt up Ricochet, but King Cuerno turns back his attention to Ricochet from PJ Black, grounds him with a reverse DDT, and PJ Black with a Russian leg whip on Chris Hero. Of course, action everywhere. Fatal 4-Way, always a very action-packed match, as it is, of course, 4 people fighting off against each other. Ricochet with just a standing moonsault to nobody, just to show off, just because he can do it, with a nice clothesline. Another clothesline to King Cuerno, while PJ Black attacks Chris Hero to the corner with a nice splash, a spear-ish face buster. A splash into the corner. Ricochet now. King Cuerno up on his shoulders again. Maybe again going for that kick. No. Chris Hero counters it more or less by accident. Covers PJ Black. 1, 2. That's the 3 count. Chris Hero wins that match. Ricochet was dizzy in the ring ropes, while Chris Hero is able to snag himself that win on PJ Black. Very unfortunate for PJ Black, who loses straight again, gets pinned as well. Not the best of starts for him. Chris Hero though joins Apollo Crews in the US title match at WWE Fastlane. We will see if there will be more people to join that match, and of course also maybe who will face AJ Styles and Enzo and Cass, who don't have any number 1 contenders yet, in next week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Next episode of this series though will of course be WWE SmackDown Live in episode number 5. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like down below, would be very much appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, I'm out. Have a good one and peace.